Right, hello guys, welcome to my final review for Kobra. Been reviewing this for a long time, but it's finally all over now. I mean, we've still got a new movie to look forward to. That's in the reboot universe, but it seems like they're at this point just merging both universes together. Because anything these days is possible. Something you thought would never be connected can just all suddenly just be connected. But yep, this basically just wraps up the story, ties up all the loose ends, all the characters basically get happy endings. Most of them anyway. But yeah, it's a good final season. Yeah. Well, final part because this season was split into like three parts. There's part one that we reviewed and part two, and this is part three now. So basically, we had like 15 episodes overall. So yeah, because basically they still got to be able to beat these two. Yeah, it ends up being three because the sensei also gets to fight, and then Silver he has a final fight with Kreese to end their rivalry. So there's a lot of tying up loose ends in this final part, yeah, and seeing who truly wins overall. Because you still got Miyagi-Do, Kobrakai, and the fans, which Terry Silver controls, and you just basically see Wabi fight the tough guy who, well, Wabi he basically ends up getting destroyed by this guy. He kind of breaks his leg, I think. That's how his fight ends up going, but he actually tries his best and comes close. Yeah, it just sucks. Robin truly didn't get a chance to truly be the best because if he actually, if that guy basically didn't cheat and just break his legs and stuff, he would have basically been able to beat him. Yeah, probably. But then Miguel I guess ends up taking his spot afterwards. But then they also end up doing something more interesting because Kreese at this point just feels so good with everything he's done. So he ends up cutting his ties to the old Kobrakai, like his old master. Hell, the flipping master's daughter ends up killing him, even though they make it look like she's gonna kill Kreese, because at that point she's choosing which side she should be on and what she wants Kobrakai to be, because you just basically seeing his kids get abused by their master and stuff, like getting beat up by their master, and she wants to make a better Kobrakai. So I guess she decides to kill her father to get rid of the old Kobrakai, because the only ones that are still left of the old Kobra after she kills her dad is basically Kreese and Silver. And Silver at this point, he just wants it all to be over. He doesn't want any essence of the old Kobra to be existing, including himself. So he's even willing to kill himself, but making sure he takes out Terry Silver as well. I mean, Terry Silver's basically dying, but he doesn't want like Terry Silver's influence to live on even after his death. Yeah, because he'll basically still be able to leave a legacy. And either way, we're going to talk about that certain scene in the penultimate episode of, Cobra Kai, but we're just talking about how things unfold when it comes to the tournament. So basically, after Silver's like making amends with Johnny, which is a very emotional moment, because everything that ever happened to Johnny, it was all of his sensei's fault, and Kreese finally opens up and apologizes for it all and just tries to make things right now, and he basically helps restore Cobra Kai, but in a better way at this point. And basically, they're able to resurrect Cobra Kai, bring back the store, bring the rights back to Johnny, fix the place up, and Miguel basically trains with Tori because I guess they're on the same side now. Because Tori, she was gonna have to forfeit if she wasn't able to get another teammate. But I guess they end up joining together and training together for the final. And yeah, they end up doing pretty good. I mean, it's hard to tell at a certain point who's going to win. I mean, Tori basically wins her fight and gets revenge on that girl that just was bullying her and was with Tori. I mean, sorry, Wabi. And they also fix their relationship, which also gives her some confidence to just destroy her. And then Miguel, it's like his fight where you don't fully know how it's going to go. Because Miguel's just losing a lot at the end. But he ends up being able to make a comeback. And it seems like he wins, but it ends up being a tie. And then straight after that, basically, since it's a tie, basically the senseis have to fight each other to decide which dojo actually wins. So that's when, Because yeah, they basically win their trophies, but it's not fully decided like who the true champion is. Yeah. So yeah, basically Johnny has to train, but it's just this is probably the most scared we've seen Johnny in the whole series because he's literally getting a second chance to change his life. What he probably would have been able to do back in 1984 in the first Karate Kid movie if he didn't have such a bad sensei. But now he's got, Daniel, the one who defeated him, on his side, helping him. And gives him all the skills he needs to be able to stand a chance, even though he basically, once we get to the fight, he definitely struggles. And he just has so much fear. And then you just hear him flipping Daniel go back to his old Cobra Kai ways and like Karate Kid 3 to motivate him. And yeah, it's cool stuff. Just seeing him in flipping black again was cool. Yeah, being a part of Cobra Kai again. Like it's like everyone just joined Cobra Kai at the end, truly repping Cobra Kai and what it stands for now. Since I guess Daniel retired Miyagi-Do, but is still willing to train people. Yeah, because I guess they've come to terms that at this point it's nice to have both defense from Miyagi and offense from Cobra Kai to truly build a true life. Because if you're too good or too bad, it's not really the best, but if you find a way to have a balance, that's what truly makes your life move forward, I guess. And that's what's truly happened for them, and I guess all the characters in this show. Seeing Eli and them, like his friend, just, get back together and stuff, go into the same places too. Because one of them wanted to go to MIT, but he'd rather be with his best friend, and they got both of their girlfriends still, like one of them still got their girlfriend and stuff, so, yeah. Because at one point it looks like one of them was going to lose their girlfriend, but he ends up definitely getting her back, if you know what I mean. But it just seems like everything works out for everyone. I feel like Kenny and a few other characters don't really get proper endings, just literally skip over them. It would have been nice to see what happened to them. Like seeing Kenny with his brother and stuff, just having a better life. We see Johnny, like, because basically, obviously, he wins. He's able to defeat him. Because he had so much nerves that he was going to fail. But at the end of the day, he still was able to fix his life. He even had a huge flashback with him at his lowest. And also, visiting his mother's grave. All that emotional stuff in the last episode. But he basically ends up winning and making her proud. Ends up finally getting a nice house. Probably something he hadn't seen since he was a kid. But he basically had a family that didn't truly care about him, so. But now he actually has a family that cares about him while also having a nice house and having a baby because, the baby gets born too. He has a daughter. Yeah. Things truly work out for Johnny after all this time from where he started with nothing to having everything by the end. Having basically a stepson, Miguel, getting his real son back. Everything just mending things with Daniel LaRusso, which is just crazy. Everything just basically works out. And the stuff with Daniel, like, that also gets resolved because at one point I was thinking they was going to make Daniel just a full villain, destroy Miyagi's legacy, but we find out that basically someone stole from Miyagi and he was just getting what they stole from him back, but it made it look bad in the letters and stuff and the news. So at least Daniel knows the truth and kind of fixes that situation. And then Daniel's just there for Johnny because he had something else on his mind in part 2, but part 3 is just fully there for Johnny and helps him win. Yeah, everything's just end perfectly. Yeah, Miguel and Sam, they just also go away together. Just ends happily. Yeah, and then this is the stuff that ends up happening in like the penultimate episode. Because after Chris helps out Johnny and restoring Cobra Kai, but in a better way, he goes straight after Terry Silver. And he basically confronts him. I kind of skipped over this stuff, but yeah. But it's nice he finally gets a trophy after all that time and gets it with Daniel. But yeah, this is like the final confrontation between Terry Silver and Chris. Because Chris basically saved his life back in the war, and that's why Terry Silver was always there for him at his lowest. But then he just gets left again afterwards. And then when Johnny starts to restore Cobra Kai, he comes back and just makes it even worse. And then it just brings back Terry Silver as well. But he's even worse because he's at a point where, yeah, he might be a witch, but he's just not happy. But karate is what actually makes him happy. But the way how he kind of wants to get, big with karate, leave a legacy in such a negative way is what brings out the worst in him. Yeah, with all the cheating and stuff, and just trying to ruin people's lives just to be able to be the best. You're not truly going to be the best because you cheated. Because he's so desperate in season 6 at this point. Yeah. But yeah, they basically have a final showdown. Chris wants to make sure he doesn't leave this boat, and Terry Silver has the same mindset, so they end up having a final confrontation. It seems like Terry Silver ends up nearly winning, so Chris decides to flip and blow up the entire boat, Saints Row 1 style. So basically, and since we don't really get to see anything else from their characters afterwards, they don't even address and show that Johnny is aware that they're both dead. Like, I feel like they skipped a lot. Yeah, we got a good ending, but they kind of skipped some stuff. Like, some characters not really getting like a full ending, but the ones you care about the most do. But then there's some of the side ones, they didn't really show them having an ending. And then this thing, they don't even address that Johnny knows that Kreese is dead, but still respects him at the end, and is definitely happy that Terry Silver's dead. And now there's people online saying that Kreese is still alive. Terry Silver, I don't even know if it matters if he's alive because he's lost his dream anyway. He would even want to be alive. And he's got an illness too, so his days are numbered. And for him to even survive that would be ridiculous. But it seems like Kreese, he's survived BS before, like when he got shanked in prison and stuff. Like, what the show was turning into from just... What the franchise even started with just kids doing karate tournaments to flipping grown-ass men having flipping rivalries over flipping karate. It's just, my god, what this franchise turned into it's hilarious. But it was a fun ride though, and I'm happy I got to experience it. Because I got into the Karate Kid franchise from the 2010 film back in 2010 when it came out in cinemas, and then that's when I watched the older films, and I liked those. Hell, I even liked the sequels more than the first film, even though the first film's a classic. Because I feel like they kind of do more for Daniel and Miyagi's story and character development. The sequels, where they kind of just build the relationship between Daniel and Miyagi. And it's kind of cool to see Miyagi, even though they couldn't fully bring him back. But, just the things you can do with CGI these days. Yeah. Kind of got a cool scene with Miyagi and Daniel at the end too. Yeah. And I haven't really got much else to say. I might have missed some stuff, and if there's other things you want to talk about, you can leave it down below. But I'm just happy the season ended well. Yeah. Good ending. Chosen, he also ends up being happy too. He ends up with that, the person who was with Kobra because she was trying to repay what her father did. And now she gets chosen to help her out too, and I guess be together. So yeah, even things end well for Chosen, because I guess Daniel's wife tries to help him find a relationship, but that person just ends up helping him get back with the person he wants to be with, actually. Yeah, and it works out for him too. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, ends pretty well. So yeah, leave your thoughts down below on what you thought of the final season. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was just an okay ending? Yep, you can leave a like, subscribe, and peace.